Hey everyone, and welcome to the Magical Miracle Network. My name is Ruth Perkinson, and we are broadcasting from Richmond, Virginia, here in the United States. And I am over the moon, really, because I have two of my most favorite people in Richmond, Virginia with me here on this call today. They have taught me so much about A Course in Miracles by their demonstration, by their teaching, by their facilitating. They're just really the lights of the world in my view. I love them so much. The first man that I'm going to introduce you to, his name is Scott McClaine. He's here with us. And Scott, just wave and say hi to everybody. There he is.
I figured they could probably tell which one of us was the man.
Yeah. Scott's the one. Yeah. And then also with Scott's my brother from another mother. And speaking of mothers, Scott is with his mom, Coco McClaine. So Coco, say hi to everybody out there.
Good morning.
Yeah. And anyway, we're just so excited that you guys are here with us tonight because what we want to do is we're interviewing people around really the nation about A Course in Miracles. And we're interviewing people who've been doing A Course in Miracles for a long, long time. And we were chit-chatting a little bit before I hit the record button. And Scott, you were telling me that you've been doing a course for how long now?
It's been more than 20 years, but I don't remember the exact time frame. Maybe 24 years.
And can you tell us how exactly you came to the course? Like, did it fall out of the sky, or where were you when you found A Course in Miracles?
Now, before I answer that, Ruth, I do want to just share that I am honored to be able to be here on the show with you. You have also taught me a lot of things over the years, and I'm just truly honored to know you, to be able to claim you as a friend, and to be here on the show with you. So thank you.
Oh, wow.
So thank you.
Well, Scott knows that I'm a lesbian, but if I were sitting right there, I'd kiss him.
Nothing but love.
I'll just kiss you on the cheek. Scott. Yeah, I'm just so grateful that you're here. And it's been a long time since we've been together, but we are back together. And I think that we're going to make this maybe a regular thing, right, Scott?
I'm open. Yes.
All right,
yes.
Let's do it.
But the way I ran across the course, in 3 days, 3 consistent days, from 3 completely different sources, I heard somebody talking about this book called A Course in Miracles. One was dealing with some real estate stuff, some was dealing with, it was just completely different scenarios. And so because I've heard of it 3 days in a row, I was inspired to go ahead and just to get it. And so I remember going online, I ordered A Course in Miracles, and because I wasn't much into reading a whole lot, I also got it on cassette tape. This is aging me a little bit. I got on cassette tape as well. It came in this box, it was like huge. It was this huge box, all the cassette tapes, the book. I opened it up and I was overwhelmed. I closed it, I pushed the box to the side.
You did not, did you really?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's just too much. I can't deal with all that. But I remember it was one day where my wife and kids, they left, and I was just at the house. I mean, they just went shopping or something, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna wash some dishes and clean up a little bit, and maybe I'll pop one of these cassette tapes in while I'm cleaning up. And so I popped in a cassette and was listening to it as I was washing the dishes. Then I opened up the book itself and at the kitchen table, and it was this major download of energy that just came through me. And it would look like I kind of passed out on the book.
Wow.
I stayed with that book for maybe a couple of hours that day, and I have read something from the course every day since.
Oh, wow. I hope everybody can hear what Scott just said. I mean, just every day now for 24 years, right? Wow. Yes, and it's just such a healing. It really, I'm gonna pull the book up right here. It's such a the book itself is such an activation, right? It just has such a good energy in it. You can even just hold it to your heart, right? And feel the love, right?
Yes. Yes.
So anyway, so then Coco, tell us how you got into A Course in Miracles.
Well, Scott, he said, "Mom, read this book." And he handed me the book and started looking through it. He said, no pictures. But I still kept looking.
Yeah, no pictures, but you still kept looking. Yeah, that's great. That's great. And you guys have been the dynamic duo with the Course in Miracles for a long time now. And it's nice to see a son and a mother together doing this kind of work together. Don't you guys think it's a kind of a cool thing that both of you guys have been doing it for so long?
Yes.
Well, anyway, Coco, I want to kind of focus on you for a minute, and because you have been an inspiration for so many people around the Richmond area to be happy. You always say good morning. You always say, be happy, be free, these kinds of things. And I wanted to kind of just ask you a little bit about that. And maybe Scott, I think we're going to pick a passage from A Course in Miracles tonight as well. But do you want to just talk a little bit about God's will for us with perfect happiness?
I'm going to start my beginning of be happy. I was in my 30s, and I was sitting at home one day, and nobody was in the house but me. The children were outside playing. And I was just contemplating, just sitting in deep thought. And all of a sudden, I stood up and said out loud, I am going to be happy no matter what. I didn't know anything about the Course in Miracles at the time. Nothing, but nothing. All I knew was the old-fashioned religion.
Yes, ma'am.
And I started experiencing being happy. And I felt like I was more loving to my children. I felt I was more loving to myself. And my husband came home one day and he said, you looked so peaceful. And then he left and went on out again. So I've been saying, I wasn't really saying be happy to others, but I was saying, myself, be happy, because I was honoring my vow that I made. Until one day I was working at a Texaco convenience store.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of customers would be from the FFD.
Oh, yeah, the famous foods of Virginia.
Yeah.
Yes.
They make cookies.
Yes,
and they
ma'am.
come in there at certain time of day. And I said, that's the way I can spread some news. Be happy. And I started saying, be happy instead of saying, thank you. And some of them will say, yeah, I'd be happy when I drink this can of beer. And after a while, it caught on that they really expect me to be saying, be happy. And they really took it to mean something to them.
Yeah. So you were working at a Texaco, and people would come in, and basically instead of saying, thank you or you're welcome, whatever, you would just say, be happy.
Right.
Yeah. And don't you feel that that's what the Holy Spirit is asking all of us to do? It's just to, right, Scott, just to be happy. So just laugh and be.
Yes. And I think it's just so powerful that without even being aware of the Course, she was actually taking the main lessons from the Course and implementing them. And, one of the things it says in the Course is that this is a course, not the only course. And so you can learn these lessons from the Holy Spirit different types of ways. And so at that particular moment, she made a declaration, she made a vow, a choice, a conscious choice to be happy. And that's simply what the Course is actually asking us to do, is to make that choice. We have that choice every given moment. We can choose to be happy, or we can choose to be unhappy. miserable,
Right.
fearful, scared, angry,
Yeah.
sad. I choose to be happy.
I know. And you guys really, whenever I've been around you guys over the last 10 years, I always see you smile, Scott, and you always just look, you really do feel to me to be just walking in the light of happiness. And Coco, you too, walking in the light of happiness. And so when anyone's around you, you don't even need to say be happy. It's just like you just feel it. You just feel it emanating from your system, So I'm hoping that everybody watching this video will really feel the joy coming from both of you, because you are really the dynamic duo of A Course in Miracles here in Richmond, Virginia. I want to just sort of change over for a second here. And I think that we had a lesson we were going to read from. It's actually my favorite lesson, which we didn't know that was going to be the lesson for tonight, but either you or Coco, Scott, could read that, maybe just that little small lesson.
All right, so this is lesson 292 from A Course in Miracles. A happy outcome to all things is sure. God's promises make no exceptions, and he guarantees that only joy can be the final outcome found for everything. Yet it is up to us when this is reached, how long we let an alien will appear to be opposing his. And while we think this will is real, we will not find the end he has appointed as the outcome of all problems we perceive, all trials we see, and every situation that we meet. Yet is the ending certain, for God's will is done in earth and heaven. We will seek and we will find according to his will, which guarantees that our will is done. So the nice little prayer that ends that lesson is, we thank you, Father, for your guarantee of only happy outcomes in the end. Help us not interfere and so delay the happy endings you have promised us for every problem that we can perceive, for every trial we think we still must meet. And it's interesting that that's your favorite lesson. I've always enjoyed this as well. It's simple,
Yeah,
but powerful if you really want to embrace it. And a happy outcome to all things is sure.
yeah,
And so many times we experience things and be like, I'm not happy about this.
yeah,
And
yeah. Right.
as I read this, I'm reminded, I remember listening to Joel Osteen one day, and he talked about like Good Friday. Years back, before it was Good Friday, that was the day that Jesus was suffering, right? And all the people around him was like, oh, they're about to kill him. It was nothing about that day that we called good on that day.
Right.
Jesus' mother could not have called that a good day on that day.
Right.
Yet we call it now, 2,000 years later, we call it Good Friday. And so if something as horrific as that could be considered as a Good Friday, imagine back, all the things we might be going through now. Imagine even just the things that have happened in our past that at the time they were horrible. But as we look back over them, those are the things that helped us to become the great people that we are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well said.
A happy outcome to all things is sure. It also, just one other little quick piece in here to say is that, and I've lost the spot just now, but what they say is that the timing is up to us.
Yes, absolutely.
And those things that may have been bothering us, that have been making us upset, that have been holding us back, holding us in pain, when are we willing to allow those to be released to get back to that happy? When can we choose to make that vow, as Mom here has done, to get back into that happy? We can choose to do that right now. So for everybody that's out there, that's the purpose of this particular series, is to get you back into that place of happy.
Yes.
That's the
yes.
The entire book is to get you back into that place of happy.
Yes. I agree with you. And I'm so grateful that you chose that lesson. It really is my favorite lesson, because it's just a happy outcome to all things is certain,
Anytime.
And I think that's so cool. And so we're going to wrap up here shortly, but Scott, I just want to ask you briefly, can you let the viewers know how to reach you here in Richmond, Virginia, and your Monday night class that you teach with Dan?
You know, I think I can I send you the link to maybe even put with the video?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So every Monday night at 7:30, we do we kind of read through a portion of A Course in Miracles, and we'll discuss it to make sure it kind of sinks in, because it's not about just going through the words, but it's about taking it to a place where we can live from this information. And so at the Unity Church of Bon Air is the main location. We also meet up at 2143 Staples Mill Road, and we're on Zoom at the same time. And so, Ruth, I can send you the Zoom link.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I would love for you to do that. And I would love for just all the viewers to know how to get in touch with you, because you also have a beautiful real estate business here in town. If it's okay to say that, I guess it's okay to say that.
If it's okay with you, it's okay with me.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Scott is a beautiful real estate agent here in Richmond, Virginia. So if you're looking for a house, he's the guy. He's the one to give him a call. So, because I'm sure that a happy outcome for all of your people will be there if they're working with you, Scott. I really do feel that so much in my mind and in my heart. So yeah, so we'll just get that in the description box about the class at Unity of Bon Air with you and Dan. We'll put that there, and also maybe just a link to your Lifelong Realty business as well. It's called Lifelong or all, I forget.
Lifelong Realty. You're exactly
Lifelong
right.
Realty.
Yes.
Lifelong Realty.
The web address is alllifelong.com.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, you'll send me all that information. We'll put it in the description box. And I just want to, before we end today, I'm going to turn it back over to Coco. And Coco, it's a big day here, September the 11th, 2023. A lot has been going on in the world with earthquakes and things. And could you just say a prayer for Gaia and everyone who's listening to this broadcast?
Yes, indeed. Gaia, I appreciate you so much. You're going through changes, and we are going through changes. And Gaia, you know more about what the changes are going on with you better than we know what's going on with ourselves. Some of us are looking at it as negative, but it's really a positive thing. It's all about taking care of the self. When you take care of the self, then you're more willing to take care of somebody else. And that is so important to us. And those of you who meditate outside, that's good. It's outside being with Gaia. And Gaia can help you feel more relaxed, more intuitive, and just being more informed. Because when you sit outside and meditate, or if you were a walking meditator, same difference. Some of you might see the color pink, because Gaia gives off the color pink. And we give off the color pink also. And you can feel that energy. Some people feel that energy going up their legs. It's coming from Gaia. And that's a good thing. That really is great. There's nothing wrong with your legs. But Gaia is watching out for all of us. The animals, the sea animals, earth animals, sky animals. Gaia got us all taken care of. And we appreciate you, Gaia. We appreciate you. We really do. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Coco. What a beautiful prayer for Gaia. And you are just a mighty prayer. You always have been, and your son is too. And I'm just, again, so grateful that you guys have joined me tonight on the Magical Miracle Network. And we are broadcasting again from Richmond, Virginia, out to as many people as we can galvanize here. And so thank you so much. Thank you for lesson 292. Thank you. A happy outcome is certain for all things. And I just wish both of you the best. I will see you very soon again back here, right? And we will be doing this as often as we can do it together, because we here on planet Earth, all of us as in humanity, we're all doing this together. We all want peace on earth, and we all want a happy outcome, you know, because Jesus is really telling us that it's happily no beginning and happily no end. To us, we are all the lights of the world. We are all the lights of the world, and you guys are beautiful lights. Any final words, Scott, before we go today? Any final words from you?
No, I will just simply say that, as you were saying right there, it's about all of us finding that place of peace, that place of internal happiness. And so each time we can spread that word of peace, of joy, of happiness to somebody else, every time we can share that light, that thought even of peace, of joy, of happiness to someone else, is a way of expanding that around and multiplying it. You know, every little piece of thought, of expression matters. And so let's continue to spread that love. Ruth, thank you so much for putting all of this together, because this is a way of actually spreading that light, spreading that love, spreading that happiness. So thank you again for that.
Oh, wow. Wow, we are in a mutual admiration society here for sure. So you are my brother from another mother, and Coco, I just feel like you're my mom. I just really just feel like you're my other mom.
A lot of children.
I have a beautiful mother, but you're my other mother. Yes. Okay, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and end for tonight, and we'll put all the information in the description box for everyone to find you, Scott, and to also find you too, Coco. And so just be very patient with me as I take off my glasses. I'm going to take them off, and I'm going to approach the computer here to go ahead and stop the recording. And as I get close here, Coco, I just want you to tell everybody to be happy.
Be happy.
Be happy. Be happy. We love you guys. All right. We love you. Bye-bye.